Alright guys, new Kickstarter stuff has arrived for the game E-Tech. Oh wait, there's a battle in front of that there. Alright, if you're new here and made it past that awful joke at the start here, I want to welcome you guys. I'm Jason, the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield. And what's inside the box is, well, all the stuff I got for the Kickstarter for the recent Battletech expansion, the Clan Invasion. So that's what we're doing today. We'll unbox this and take a look at some of the other fun stuff I've got in the box, and we'll go from there. So in a moment here, we'll dive into the details of this expansion. But for a quick primer on the story for the Clan Invasion, this all begins several hundred years before the events of a game of armored combat. At some point, basically a very powerful military leader named General Kerensky, he basically says, screw you to humanity, thinks we all suck, and he leaves the inner sphere and takes a whole bunch of the military under his command with him. Eventually they go off, form their own militaristic society based around a warrior culture, and then we flash forward to about 25 years after the events of a game of armored combat. So we're now about 3049, 3050, and a new mysterious culture with battle mechs arrives on the edge of the inner sphere and launches a massive invasion. And well, it turns out that mysterious new culture is the descendants of General Kerensky, and they basically came to retake the inner sphere and morph it and reshape it in their idea of how society should be. Now let's take a look at this expansion. The keyword there, this is an expansion. So you have to have Battletech, a game of armored combat, or one of the other Battletech rule sets to use the contents of this box set. In here, you're only going to find the new rules that are required to use the clans and some elementals and things like that. One thing to note is that the retail price in the back of the box for the Clan Invasion is $49.99 United States dollars. So what we got here is another short story by Blaine Lee Pardo. I can never pronounce his name, but he's actually one of my more favorite authors. He's from Michigan. And if you read his stories carefully, he often hides little tidbits about Michigan in his stories. I think I might have mentioned this once before, but Surrender Your Dreams, which is one of the MechWarrior Dark Age novels he wrote, had a battle that occurred in the planet of New Dearborn along the Rouge River and the Woodward Corridor, which are all things that are right in kind of the southwest area of Detroit, or just southwest of Detroit. Alright, so now we get the really cool stuff. And of course, we got a whole bunch of more fantastic miniatures. Now you have 5 clan mechs. And I should note, this box that I'm looking at here is what came in the Kickstarter. So first and foremost, the artwork you saw on the front of the box is a Kickstarter exclusive. You'll see in a moment here the rule book is what the actual retail box set's going to look like. And I know the retail set has the same 5 clan mechs, and this one has 2 points of elemental units here, so basically little battle armor guys running around. Now, these elementals were the result of a Kickstarter stretch goal, and I'm not 100% sure if they're in the retail version. So, alright. Just like with Game of Armored Combat, these miniatures are fantastic, and they are among some more of just awesome Battletech miniatures. And you've got the Executioner / Gladiator, you have the Timberwolf / Mad Cat, you have the Grendel / Mongrel. Now this, I actually don't know who this guy is, despite playing Battletech for years, so sure. You have the Puma / Adder, and then you have the Nova / Blackhawk. And if you wonder why each of them have 2 names to them, in the Battletech universe, the clan mechs all have an official clan designation, and then they have the Inner Sphere name, which was given to them by the Inner Sphere. So, for example, the Mad Cat is actually the name given to this mech by the Inner Sphere. Its official clan name is the Timberwolf. And then here's a little closer up look at the little elementals. These are really freaking cool. The old game used to have little tiny pewter guys, and as with most plastic miniatures, the plastic ones, they're a lot better. And then up in the top here, you have some Alpha Strike cards. So you get Alpha Strike stat cards for all the mechs in the set. And Battletech Alpha Strike is a different way to play games in the Battletech universe. It's still mech-on-mech combat, but it's more akin to a real-time strategy game versus, say, a simulation game, which Battletech is more of a simulation. And then you have pilot cards like you did in a game of Armored Combat. This is the rule book here for Clan Invasion. It's very thin because, like I said, it's not a complete rule book. All you're going to get are some new weapon lists for the clan as well as the inner sphere, and some of the special rules that go along with these new advanced weapons and technology. Now, I don't remember if a game of Armored Combat had this, but this rule book has the rules for force building around the battle value system, which is a different way to balance forces in Battletech, because basically tonnage is crap. So, you know, if you want an actual balanced gameplay, you want to use like the battle value system for that. And then finally in the back you have a couple scenarios you can play with featuring the new mechs. Here is your primer book. So just like with the previous one, this is kind of introduction to the events around the clan invasion. These are not rules. They're just more details, you know, about the current era and what's going on at the current time in the Battletech universe. You have a couple double-sided hex maps. These are basically the same things you've always gotten per se in Battletech. One side's a forest, and one side is a desert. And as with a game of Armored Combat, we have some more punch-outs here. The scenarios that are in the rulebook do require more mechs than what are included in terms of figures, so you have extra copies of the mechs here that you can use. You have the little stands and some alternative terrain tokens that you can put down if you want to vary the maps by a little bit. Here are your then record sheets for the mechs. Now this not only has the record sheets for the miniatures that come in this game, but they also have the record sheets at least updated for 3050 rules for things like the mechs that came in a game of Armored Combat, because those are 3025 mechs, which are a little bit outdated by the time this occurs in the year 3050. Modifier table. And then we have another really beautiful poster here of the map of the inner sphere. It's just a monster. And now that is everything that comes inside a Battletech A Clan Invasion. So let's take a look at the other stuff in the Kickstarter here in just a moment. But before we get to that, I want to just kind of briefly mention a new product I have over on Etsy, which are 6mm scale resin printed buildings for certain giant stompy robot games. So I'll put a link to those in the show notes if you want to check them out. The first one's actually based on a tutorial I did last year for making some of the miniatures. I kind of scaled it down to be 1 hex size, and you can go ahead and find that on Etsy, and I'll be adding some more options to those listings as time goes on. Alright, let's take a look at what else came in this Kickstarter. Now before I start diving into all the things that came in this Kickstarter, I want to mention one thing. I don't know how much of this is going to be available at retail. I know some of these things are available in retail, and I'll mention those items for sure. But some of these bonus items, they may not be available from your local stores. You may have to get up from the Catalyst Games website. I'm not entirely sure. As a funny little note, I looked at some of the UPC symbols. There are actually about 3 different publisher codes on the UPC symbols. What that means, I have no idea. But it's just a random little fact. So we'll start here first with the posters that were kind of the target of the stupid intro joke. There's a set of 3 posters in here. One looks to be the artwork for the retail version of the Clan Invasion box set. Haven't opened the other ones up to see what else is in there. First item I got here is a map pack. This one does have a retail price of $34.99 on it, so I'm assuming this will be available in retail channels. And this is the Battle of Takeda. Now storyline-wise, where the Clan Invasion box set is the beginning of the Clan Invasion, the events of the Battle of Takeda, they're the end of the Clan Invasion, where Comstar, which is basically called Space AT&T by a lot of people, apparently they have a giant powerful military and they challenge the clans to one final battle, and they win, ending the Clan Invasion. Sorry, spoilers, this Clan Invasion storyline is 30 years old. In case you're new to Battletech, the Clan Invasion storyline is not new. It's probably the most told storyline of all time between tabletop games, video games, all that kind of stuff. So, some more things that I know are going to be available on retail, because I've already ordered one that I didn't get, which are the miniature boxes. Now, I don't know the exact price on these. I want to say the Inner Sphere Lance Pack's like 25 to 30-ish. This is probably in the $30 to $40-ish range with the clans. But these are more excellent, high-quality miniatures. Let's open these up and take a look at them. Of course, we got the Daiichi. Always a fantastically awesome mech. And I got this one in particular because one of my most favorite clan mechs is the Shadowcat. I have no idea why. I think it's just a beautiful mech. And then you've got the Mistlynx, aka Koshi. You have the Ryokan, Stormcrow. And then you have the Summoner / Thor. So you got another set of iconic clan mechs. And then along with the mechs, you have some pilot cards, as well as some more Alpha Strike stats cards to use them for that game. Now I got this one because of this guy right here, the Marauder. I love how they have kind of like this one that echoes back to the Unseen Robotech mech, but it still is different enough that they're not going to get sued. I love it. Now this is the one that says on the back, the Inner Sphere Command Lance includes the iconic Marauder, Archer, Valkyrie, and Stinger. Which is a lie, the Valkyrie was never iconic. For anyone who's played Battletech for years, they inevitably have a set of mechs that they consider to be the really awesome, cool-looking ones, and a set of the mechs that are kind of meh and kind of crummy looking. It's purely an opinion-based thing, right? The Valkyrie, I just never cared about, where the other ones, they're well-known, they've been starter sets before and things like that, so that's why I kind of make that silly joke. And then also, like with the clan set, we have some Alpha Strike cards, as well as some pilot cards. So now we're getting into the category of what might be Kickstarter exclusives. This here is a Federated Commonwealth coin. On one side is a symbol of the Federated Commonwealth. On the other side, I believe that's a bushwhacker. I do remember picking these out, though. These are Federated Commonwealth dice. They are 6-sided dice with the FedCom logo, I believe, on the 6th side. Yes, that is good, because I hate when dice are on the one side. Catalyst Games Lab has released dice packs before, but they're usually more dice, not just 2, so I don't know. Hey, 7. Solidly average dice. Now, these next 2 things were definitely an awesome surprise to me. I mean, there's so much crap I don't remember ordering. I don't know if they accidentally gave them to me or what. You know, 298 cards each, double-sided, so about 200 mechs worth of stat cards here. So if you got the miniature for the mech, there's a good chance it's in these packages here. Because up to this point, there really haven't been very many good options for Alpha Strike stat cards. Catalyst Games produced something like this before, but it was like a limited release set at conventions, and if you didn't get them there, you couldn't get them in stores. In addition to the Alpha Strike cards, you got some other cards here. I've got another card pack. Looks like it'd be a bunch of different pilots. Sure. And then I got this thing here, Mercenaries of the Inner Sphere 2. It's a whole bunch of mercenary pilot cards. Now, one thing to note about these cards, I can take a couple of them out here and look at them. These are not actually game cards. They're pretty much trading cards. On the front, you have the picture and name of the famous mercenary, and in the back, you got a biography. I don't see any sort of like game rules for them. So maybe they match up with some of the pilot cards you can find in other places. That way you just kind of have like a bio and a picture of who's in the mech. But these by themselves don't have any game value. So I've got a few more small boxes to open up here. These little things are given out as part of stretch goals, but they're also handed out in the Kickstarter to equalize the cost of things. So for example, one of them came because I got the Lance of Inner Sphere mechs. It only had 4 mechs in it. And what these guys are called salvage boxes. They're basically just random battle mechs. I don't know if this is going to be available at retail. I hate randomized prepackaged miniatures. But given the fact they're just random extra stuff that I wasn't expecting to get, I'm cool with them for the Kickstarter. Let's take a look at what's inside of them. 3 of them are Clan Invasion salvage boxes, which I guess are one random Omni-Mech, and then I have something called a Legendary salvage box. I don't know who's in this, if it might be like some like well-known name character from the Battletech universe, so let's find out. And the first one is, we got another Koshi, or Mistlynx. And okay, it also comes with the Alpha Strike stat card, as well as a pilot card. This one is a Ice Ferret. Ice Ferret Prime. Third and final mech here is gonna be a Gargoyle. Oh, alrighty, that works. Now it's time for the Legendary box. And this is an Archer. Ooh, that's why it's called Legendary box. Because that guy in there is pretty famous. In fact, he goes quite hand in hand with a recent painting tutorial I did. I've got the pilot card for Morgan Kell of the Kellhounds. And to finish the day off, even Catalyst Games has got to be a bit of a memer. I had no idea this was going to show up. I've never bought this mech, period, because, well, it's so ugly, it's adorable. Let's be realistic. So let's take a look at what is inside the Urban Mech Salvage box, which it says there's an Urban Mech in here, so there better be an Urban Mech in this box. It actually does look kind of a little bit better than it used to. Some of the new mech miniatures look different than their old 1980s counterparts, and they look better. And then once again, you've got your Alpha Strike card as well as a pilot card for them. Alright guys, well thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm Jason, the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield. If you like more Battletech stuff, hit that subscribe button and check out some of my painting tutorials. I've done speed paints in the Kellhounds. I did a nice introduction on how to paint your first battle mechs from Battletech Game of Armored Combat. And like I said, we'll be diving in and doing something a little bit fancy here with Morgan Kell and his archer. And I've also got a few more speed paints lined up. I know I want to paint some of these guys as Lyran guards. And I have noticed that the various palette cards have all sorts of what I assume are the proper paint schemes for different units. So I'll probably be using some of those to paint up a few more famous military units from the Battletech storyline. So let me grab... Oh, it's going to be a mess if I try to move all this stuff. It's going to... Don't spill, don't spill, don't spill. All right. Well, that's been your first look at the Clan Invasion box set, as well as the fun goodies that came with the Kickstarter. If you didn't get in the Kickstarter interested in this, these things are shipping now pretty soon to retail. I believe I put an order, like I said, with one of the guys in the retail store. So sometime late 2020, these are going to be available in the retail setting. So thank you guys all for watching. I think I said that already once. I do that all the time. All right. Have a great week.